they're a very good offensive team, as we know, and then the extra possessions, got them some extra life. I feel like we had it to, 7 points, probably 5 or 6 times, and then inevitably it'd be a loose ball turn out to be an offensive rebound, kick out 3, or just generate a 3 to keep it back to double digits. But we'll have to be better in those areas, for sure. We'll get to work and see what else we can maximize. Yeah, you get to the playoffs, there's going to be dynamic offensive teams. And, yeah, they have guys that can, drive and break it down off the dribble. And they can also shoot pull-up threes, and then they're very good spot-up shooters as well. So that's the task, and it's up to us to figure out, how to beat that.
Totally length plays a huge role in the fourth quarter, whether it's just him kind of manning the pivot on defense or some of those rebound tip-outs. How do you guys deal with that length?
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. We've really improved offensively, but they did force us into some tough possessions and possessions where we didn't really work it the way you have to, particularly on the road at times. We'll get to the film and figure out where we need to be better. Yeah. I mean, that'll be, it is always important, like you say, but, right, I mean, if you play with fire, if the team can shoot like that, they can get it going, in the paint, can draw fouls, and then also get the extra possessions and loose balls, that just gives extra life, extra momentum. If you can handle that, sometimes it can look a little bit different, the momentum swings.
Obviously, with his youth, it's a learning curve. First playoff game, it just seemed like he was sort of out of tune with what he needed to do with Allen in there and the way they moved the ball inside and attacked him. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and this is the life of a young player. You're being fed through a fire hose. He's important to what we do. He'll get to work. That's the thing I really respect about Khalil. And the areas. That he's gotten a lot better, we're going to need in this series.
They have 3 guards that were cooking pretty well in the fourth quarter, but Tyler, it seemed like while they were kind of going on their run, he was stuck in the corner with Merrill on him, which is probably a matchup you guys want to go at. So how do you get him more involved in the actions? I guess what were they doing to kind of disrupt some of the sets you were trying?
Yeah, they're keeping us on the side, a lot of their stuff. That's their defensive system against us. It's up to us, to figure out how to get it in the flow and get the ball where it needs to go, and that's what we'll work on the next couple of days. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
They had the best offense in the regular season, and tonight I think we did all the highest worst defensive rating of the season. What was so challenging in slowing them down?
I mean, they're historically a good offense. Obviously they're number 1 in the East for a reason. I think we lacked a lot of communication, just mental errors that we can cover up. I think obviously the 2 days in between will give us, time to watch film, have a practice, and then, clean up the things we need to clean up. We know what we need to clean up, and that's the beauty of a 7-game series. We can make some adjustments and clean things up.
You got going early. Was there something they did to you? Was there something you stopped doing? Sort of 17 points first half, and then obviously including a scoreless fourth. What happened late?
Yeah, I just got to continue to be aggressive, finding my spots. Obviously, they're denying me, picking me up full court, and just trying to make things tough. But we've faced that literally all year. I'll be better.
Obviously, the possession battle before any game, but against this team, when they finish the offensive rebounds, you guys finish with more turnovers, and they get more opportunities. How important is that going to be to kind of correct and fix later on in the series?
I mean, yeah, that was the emphasis coming into the night, the 50-50s, all the offensive rebounds, just making sure we're, limiting them to one possession. Tonight, obviously, we didn't do that from the very, very beginning. They were a lot more physical than us. And I think that obviously set the tone, and we'll have to clean that up going into game two.
For all that happened early, it was a 6-point game in the third quarter, and then they took off again. What led to that takeoff point after Haywood scored and you got it within 6?
Yeah, it's a game of runs. Obviously, with the offense like theirs, we have to really take care of the ball, making sure we're getting the right shots, so that they're not leaking out and running out for easy transition buckets, and then our defense isn't set. So we'll just have to clean some things up, and we'll be ready for game two.
You've been over in these moments before. How valuable and how challenging is it for a rookie like Khalil to play his first playoff game? What was his best night, but just what can he take from these experiences?
Yeah, it's huge. I think obviously Khalil being in that environment, going through his very first playoff game, probably hit him, surprised him a little bit, but he'll be better, and he'll continue to improve and figure out what works in these series, and obviously we need him big time if we're gonna compete in this series.
Middle of the fourth quarter, there were a bunch of plays while they were going on their run where you were in the corner, I assume maybe for like a second side action, but you guys never quite got there. Like, what did their defense do to disrupt the flow of your offense?
Yeah, they were really disruptive, denying me the ball, making sure there was always a body on me. Nothing really easy. I think I had the two most open shots I had, I missed. So just trying to, figure out different ways, watch the film. Obviously, it's only going to pick up as the series goes on, so it's not going to get any easier. We just got to continue to figure out how we can, get me in my spots, and then also how I can continue to make the right play for my teammates.
All right, perfect.
Thank you, Tyler. Obviously, you knew their record going in, what they've accomplished in sort of a historic season. Was there anything that surprised you by how efficient they were, really on both ends, and as far as the gap that it ultimately proved after you got it within 6?
Nah, I mean, you've been seeing them play all season. You understand what it is. Um, for us, I feel like it was the 14 turnovers. In the playoffs, in regular season 14 doesn't seem that bad, but in the playoffs, it's like having 20. As you can see, when they got 11 off of our 14, so that and the rebounding.
You guys have been one of the best defenses now for the past month. What was so difficult? What makes them so difficult to slow down? Because obviously they mentioned the top offensive rating in the league in regular season. What made it so tough tonight?
They make smart plays. They try to make the right play every possession. So, understanding that we can't have mental lapses or defensive lapses on that end, and we got to all be collective as a group, and understanding we got to talk through every possession.
Mobley's length played a pretty big role in the fourth quarter, whether it's like tipping out loose balls or like that trap he had on the baseline. Like, how do you guys deal with having that much length kind of roving around the team?
It's the NBA. You're gonna have to figure it out at some point. But for us, it's understanding where they are. Understanding where their bigs are and seeing how we can execute while they're still on the court.
You were a playoff rookie at one point. Khalil today went through that. Is that something you have to see for the first time? I mean, I can't recall the last time he went without a point or a rebound and a half like he did in the first half today. Is it something you simply had to experience to appreciate how different it is?
Yeah, I mean he has to go through it. He's young, but the thing about it is, we'll know he'll bounce back. He's one of those rookies where he retains a lot of information very well, and we need him. So, from that standpoint, understanding we get 2 days to lock in and, he gets to refocus, and he's already got that first game out of the way. And now, you know, we go into this game Wednesday with a different mindset.
Thank you, appreciate it.